The Frankie DeBusk Show is a special presentation of the Pioneer Sports Network. The Frankie DeBusk Show with head coach Frankie DeBusk and the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton. Brought to you by...
You're in a Bojangles town, Greenville, home of the Bojangles famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. Bojangles, title sponsor for the Frankie DeBusk Show. Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda, home of the big deal, located on the 11E bypass in Greenville. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Your Greenville Light and Power System, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1945. Greenville Federal Bank, celebrating over 50 years of service in Greenville and Greene County. Green Coach Tours, proudly serving the traveling public since 1945. Grand Rental Station, anything you'll ever need to rent or buy. Andrew Johnson Bank, a strong heritage, a stronger future. Home-owned and operated with locations in Johnson City, Jonesboro, Morristown, Cleveland, and Greenville. Creekside Markets, don't pass by, stop by, with 3 locations in Greene County. Special consideration from Comcast Cable through Xfinity.
And now, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton.
It was the 30th meeting between the Tusculum Pioneers and the Mars Hill Lions, and it took place from Pioneer Field. It was senior day, and it was the season finale. And unfortunately for both of these teams, they were just quite honestly fighting to stay out of the cellar. The Pioneers did just that. They scored 21 unanswered points in the second half as the Pioneers rallied from a 14-point deficit to win 49-42 against the Mars Hill Lions. Now, it's a little bit in this game. It was, for Bo Cordell, just one of those mind-blowing type contests. He throws for 569 yards. He's already basically the conference, school, and national leader in just about every passing statistic, as he will finish his career with 9 NCAA records, 13 South Atlantic Conference records, and 19 school records in offense. Bo Cordell throws for 5 touchdowns. He accounts for yet another one on the ground, but the finishing touch, the 21st unanswered point, came from Fernando Smith, a 1-yard plunge for the Tusculum Pioneers for his 9th touchdown of the season. For Coach DeBusk, it was his 10th win all-time against Mars Hill. Tim Clifton, the second longest tenured coach in the South Atlantic Conference history, has to watch his team lose yet again to the Tusculum Pioneers, and for him, he would suffer his 10th loss against the Tusculum Pioneers. Man, it was the 11th year anniversary to the very day of the Mud Bowl between Tusculum and Mars Hill, and the game in which will now be ever famous for the fact that Mears Field is no longer Mears Field. It's now the Ammons Athletic Facility, because now there's some artificial turf at Mars Hill. This game, however, was played at Tusculum's Pioneer Field. Go back even further, 2003, on this very field, Ricardo Coakley against Rod DeWalt, and the Tusculum Pioneers shut down the great wide receiver of Mars Hill and claimed the school's first ever South Atlantic Conference championship. In this game, Justin Houston went crazy once again. 3 receivers had over 100 yards receiving in the contest, and Isaac Robinson, quite possibly the passing of the torch, shows just exactly how good or how special he can be in the years to come at Tusculum College. This game showed a whole lot of future, but it showed a whole lot of what was currently right with Tusculum football, and that's Bo Cordell. We'll talk a lot more about this contest with the Frankie DeBusk Show, sponsored by Bojangles, with the head coach himself, Coach Frankie DeBusk, and that's when we come back after this.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's Bo time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's Bo time.
Gateway Ford on Highway 11E is rapidly becoming the #1 Ford dealer in the region. We're changing the car business for the better. Buying a car has never been easier. No add-on stickers. Plus, we'll appraise your car right up front. You pick the car you like and have your best price in less than 30 minutes. Plus, at Gateway, you'll receive a lifetime powertrain warranty on every new vehicle purchased. The clear choice. Gateway Ford, home of the big deal on Highway 11E in Greenville, or on the web at homeofthebigdeal.com.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton.
Welcome back into the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Bojangles. Brian Stayton, rejoined by Pioneer coach Frankie DeBusk. The Pioneers win a thriller, 49-42, against the Mars Hill Lions this past Saturday, senior day, for Bo Cordell, Brian Alexander, and 10 other seniors who will document through this show as well. Coach, it was a game that you're going in. You've lost 3 straight against Mars Hill. You've lost 5 in a row on the season. You don't have a real good feel. There's no records when it comes to this game. Basically, you go out there, everything, you let it fly, and you've got the best gunslinger in the league in Bo Cordell, and he proved a little bit why on Saturday.
You know, Brian, the game Saturday was very similar to the way the season has been. We just made a few plays when we had to. I know we stopped them defensively, 5 or 6 straight times there late in the ball game, and we hadn't done that in a long time. You know, very positive steps for our defensive football team. Now, early on, it was score for score, and you know, I sit back and think, I watch college football on TV just like everybody else does, and unfortunately for the defensive coaches out there, that's a lot what college football is about now. It's really a scoring fest, but fortunately we got Bo Cordell slinging it around one more time. We got our receivers making some plays, and we got Corliss Stone, a guy we hadn't talked a lot about, making a humongous play right down there on about the 4-yard line, and we just found a way to make a play one more time than they did, and I was excited for our kids, and especially excited for the seniors. It was so emotional before the game and then so emotional after the game, but we found a way to get a win. Emotional because of a couple of guys who have basically been here for 5 years and contributed, seems like, each and every year. And Bo Cordell, one of those guys, and I said it, I put it on him, 4:50 to play. I said, you want to be known as a great quarterback here at Tusculum, you need a game-winning drive. You need that type of a drive. And yes, Corliss had the great catch, but you know, Bo put it in a spot, the only spot that Corliss is going to catch that. He made a few throws Saturday. Well, let me just say this. I don't think anybody that sits in the stands or the coaches that are on our staff really realize how good Bo Cordell is. Yeah. We're not going to realize that until we line up next year and he's gone. Now, we got some players behind him, and we're excited about the future. But, I mean, Bo made a few throws Saturday that only a 4th-year or 5th-year player is going to make. And it doesn't knock what we got coming. It's just experience, understand the game. He makes calls on the field. He does the things. I mean, right now when he checks, every check's a successful one. Yeah. You know, that's over. Yeah. We got to go back to Mark Kolb's got to go back to work. He's got to go back to coaching. But excited for Bo, and great drive there when we needed a win, and we needed it to score, and just did a great job there to end his career. Yeah, he talked about score for score. It's a wild first quarter, and Mars Hill figured something out, although Mars Hill was the first to blink in the first half with John Perry making a sack, and we'll talk a lot about that right now. Let's take a look at your first half highlights presented by Bojangles. No doubt, Coach, it was a glorious day, really. We had a lot of rain on Friday. We had that, and then the sun pops out here coming up, and it warms up. And you got this Pioneer Pete tailgate party all year long. You guys have done a wonderful job here at the school, David Martin and his crew, in getting some people interested in Pioneer football. I can't say enough about David Martin himself, but his staff does just an incredible job. And, you know, David has high expectations for his staff. I'm going to tell you that, and it just means the world to our football team. Actually, them two right there, Brian and B.A., as we're making the walk, said, Coach, do you know how much it means to us to be able to have this Pioneer walk? He said, I think they said, this is about the best thing we've ever done in our tenure here. So if the players feel that way, then we're going to continue doing it, and just happy that we're able to do those things, and it just gets the day started off on a great note. Look, Mars Hill starts off with the ball, and they go down the field, and they score a touchdown, Dimitri Holmes, and we don't waste any time. And this is what I thought. It'll be a gunslinging type day, and Jonathan Diliberto just uses his speed and runs under it. Great throw by Bo, great route there by Diliberto. We protect, and you know, we need to get back on the scoreboard after they've scored, and I think it was about 84-yard touchdown, and just a great way for us to start. Got a great crowd there. I think a lot of the crowd has to attribute to the Pioneer tailgate and also the beautiful weather. Look, Diliberto was so far ahead of everybody with the speed. He had to run all the way back to the 20 before anybody would celebrate with him. He's so fast. You just get him to catch the football on a consistent basis, good things will happen. The point was good. We're tied at 7. One play offensively into the game for the Pioneers. Mars Hill would score on their ensuing drive.
14-7 as Feluke Gordon-Lamar would punch it in from 10 yards away. So the Pioneers would start with the football. You find Isaac Robinson on the ground for 7 yards, and Bo Cordell goes to work. 3rd down and 3 for Wes Powell.
Great catch there by Wesley. You know, I was bragging to Wesley at the team meeting on Sunday night. All the coaches in our conference have really been bragging about how much Wes has improved. And we met on Sunday and voted for all-conference, and Wes was first-team all-conference. And he's just making so much improvement every day. And here's Bo Cordell making another great throw. I think it was 3rd down there, and Justin Houston doing what he's done best, and that's catch the football and get upfield after the catch.
Justin Houston establishing school records in receptions and receiving yards for a season. Isaac Robinson just for a yard, 2nd down and 9. Bo Cordell was looking for Powell. He missed on this route a couple of times, and it was a little high to the 6'10 tight end. Bo Cordell takes just a pounding as he lets this one go. So you feel as if, well, we're going to have to go. You're in that gray area anyway. It's 4th down and 9, and really your offensive line gives Bo a chance to locate Justin Houston.
Great protection. And Bo takes a shot, but he's great at that. Bo's great at letting it develop, and Justin's there wide open, makes a good throw, and gets us on the scoreboard.
So the Pioneers would tack on the extra point, and 4 possessions in the football game, and 28 points apiece, or 28 points combined so far in this contest. Mars Hill would get the football back. They would drive down the field. They would score. They would take a 21-14 lead. Still in the first quarter, the Pioneers have the football. Bo Cordell on a record-breaking play to the Jordan Reinhardt, one of the 12 seniors on this football team. That reception sets Bo Cordell in the record book total offensive yard leader.
Happy for Jordan there. You know, it is senior day. You want your seniors to be involved, and I didn't even realize Jordan was in the game. I was happy that he had the catch and doing what he needed to do there. And here, Wes has got to get in the freaking end zone. I mean, that sucker right there, we get tackled on the 1-yard line, and he just lets Bo have an opportunity to run it in. But Wes should have gotten his own there. Great catch, great execution. We've actually ran that play right there very good this year with our quarterback and fullback and our running back leading our quarterback in there and having some success.
Bo Cordell would get into the end zone. Again, that was a record-breaking drive for him. But for his career, he's like minus 30 yards rushing against Mars Hill, and even after today. Yes, there was some defense in this game, and it started here in this first quarter of play. Mars Hill, we were even saying in the radio booth, who would blink first? 3-yard gain, Jones and Lane on the stop. You actually take a timeout right here. Did you not sense that you had the right personnel on the field?
No, I didn't mind calling timeout. Yeah, we just felt like they had us, and we didn't have a right call. But here's John Perry, another senior we talk about making a play there, and happy again when we make plays, but especially happy when the seniors do it. And John's from down in Florida area, and he's going to be graduating, so happy for him. But back to the timeout, Brian. I didn't realize early in the game that one of our players had called a timeout. I didn't call timeout early in the first quarter. I didn't realize we only had one left, and they told me. I thought Mars Hill had called timeout, and they hadn't, so that's what the discussion was about.
Mars Hill would call a timeout after the sack, but again, it was the first negative play outside of a penalty on the day. So Mars Hill, again, under great pressure. Here is Trent Miller, and Josh Davis has applied pressure all season long in that defensive end position. Miller, just the redshirt freshman for Mars Hill, wanted nothing of it.
Great pressure up front. Actually, I think the secondary did a good job there covering him, keeping him from being open. But, Josh Davis, another senior, made second team all-conference after we moved him from linebacker to defensive line, and there he's putting some pressure on him. And we got to connect right there. Here's, this is Fernando Smith, another one of our running backs that's so bright in the backfield of future, being freshman. I can't wait to keep those kids back there. And Shane Patterson, sort of the third cog in that system, and things are looking really good for us. Here's another throw and catch by Bo, and I think Justin Houston.
Yeah, Justin Houston, just phenomenal. Again, a very quiet, unassuming quiet, 161 yards on the day on 11 catches with the touchdown and the long of 28. We'll still see that to come. But you bottle up Fernando Smith, but you can't bottle up Justin Houston. And Bo Cordell, obviously very comfortable throwing it to Houston across the middle. He has such great hands. Robert Green, right there, makes the tackle. Finished with 17 tackles on the day. Do you understand why?
He's having to tackle Justin Houston every time he catches it. That's exactly why.
He had 17 tackles. He goes over 100 tackles on the year. Sammy Siasia, who's in this football game for Mars Hill, 135 tackles going in. He had 20 on the day. He finishes with 155 tackles on the season, which is just amazing. It's 1st and 10 to Hicks, incomplete. Then you decide, you know what, let's go right back to Dion.
Great throw. Good job by Dion catching the football and getting the ball in the end zone. It was a great effort there. And happy for Dion. Obviously, he made second team all-conference as well. And He's got a bright future here. We got to keep Deion's head on straight, and that's part of our job. But he is a special talent that can make some special plays. And finally, we make Mars Hill punt the football. It's a good feeling to get him to punt the football after it's been a scoring fest. And Deion catches the deadgum football 2 yards deep in the end zone. And you know, players make plays. This is one of those deals right here. He's getting ready to get his hind end shoot out, and he ends up getting the ball out, gaining us about 7 or 8 extra yards. But we got to be a little smarter than that.
Pioneers have a 28-21 lead right at the start of the second quarter. And I laughed because I could see the confrontation coming with you and him and Mark Coleman and Tim Tobin and everybody that was down there. And then he gets out to the 30-yard line. Now, you don't convert on that particular drive, and you actually would have to end up punting the ball away. But you force them to punt. They get the ball back. Again, they would score on 4th down and 2. So we're tied right now at 28, and another big drive to Justin Houston. You're looking for Deion Hicks. We'll revisit that play a little bit later in the show. You don't get the first down. You don't continue the drive. But Logan Haynes, another guy playing his final game. What a kick.
Great effort there. I mean, we did get lucky, say what you want to, but he gave the ball a chance to stop. We get down and do what we're coached to do. You know, the guy fair catches it. We're supposed to get behind him, and just happy that we're executing and doing the little things we do. And here we have a little play in that we let Bo get a punt, and this one I think is a 51-yarder, and we do a great job covering. And you know, I mean, that's our running back right there, coming out of the backfield. Fernando Smith doing what he's supposed to do, getting down, stopping the ball on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Bo can throw it, but he can also kick it. Now, I did not show the second one.
Good.
Yeah, that one was good. Yeah, that one was.
I don't know if it might have been his grandfather or his uncle or somebody after the game said, Bo, I was excited that you had a 51-yard punt average, and then after that second one, you only had a 20-yard punt average.
It was worse than it was higher than it was long.
It was. That's why he don't punt all the time.
There's not a lot of consistency there, but he has plenty of consistency in the arm. But it's an interesting first half as it is right now. Mars Hill has actually come back to take a 35-28 lead at the end of the half. The Pioneers will have the ball to start the second half, and that's when we return with more of the Frankie DeBusk Show. Right after this, presented by Bojangles.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's bow time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better
Cornelius will attempt a 41-yard effort. The kick is away, end over end toward the uprights, and he splits them.
Welcome back into the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Bojangles. Pioneers trail at halftime by a score of 35-28. Coach, I'm sitting there calling it up in the booth, and I know we had a great first quarter, but Mars Hill figured something out. They put a lot of pressure. Troy Harris spent a lot of time in the backfield on a couple of possessions against Bo, and I asked Bo about that, and he goes, I don't know if he'll be in the NFL, but man, he sure does look the part. Their defense, when they want to come, they're about as scary as anybody in the league.
Well, they actually they got 2 players that we truthfully didn't block, 33 and 16, and you're talking about Harrison, Siasie, or whatever his name is, that can really play the game.
Yeah.
I think both of them are seniors too, aren't they? Hopefully
Harris
they are.
for sure
Yeah,
is.
They were obviously talked a lot about when we were voting for preseason or for all conference in our head coaches meetings, but Troy Harris, they seem, Mars Hill always has a defensive end.
Yeah.
They got one that we can't block, and he does a great job, and no matter what side he lined up on, he's a good football player.
He's the 93rd ranked defensive end, according to plenty NFL scouts, out of 250 defensive end. Bo Cordell says, yeah, he looked the part. The other thing that worried me, I felt, is if this became a 2-possession game, I wasn't sure, based on how the season had gone, that we'd be able to fight back in this game.
It did become a 2-possession game. They went up on us, by 14 points, and trust me, I was thinking the same thing on the sidelines, but we just kept plugging away and kept finding a way to make it happen and made plays in the end.
Here's the dagger as we take a look at your second half highlights presented by Bojangles. Tusculum would have the ball to start the second half, would not score, and have to punt the ball away. Now Mars Hill's figured something out. That's the 4th consecutive stop against the offense. Pioneers, Logan Haynes, pinning Mars Hill deep inside the 5 at the 4. Doesn't matter. They go deep to Dimitri Holmes, 96-yard catch and run for a 2-score lead, 42-28, Coach.
great throw, great catch, great execution. You know, our Chris Jackson there, we got a freshman corner on Dimitri, and he wasn't in bad position, but we got to make a play on that ball.
It's max protection, 2 guys in the route, and Lorante was looking in the backfield a little bit. He didn't really get over there to help, but I don't know that it mattered. Trent Miller does not keep the ball in his hands very long at all. They were talking about Peyton Manning this past Sunday night, 2 seconds to get rid of it. Trent Miller was about that way. So here it is, 42-28. You need an answer. You give it to your freshman. You throw it out here to Justin Houston for no gain, but you continue to move the football. Robinson for 9 yards. Houston no gain, and Bo Cordell decides I'll get the first down myself.
Yeah, he snuck it in there. You know, it wasn't real close. I mean, it wasn't real. We had to make sure and convert. And happy that we did there, but we do keep giving the ball to Isaac, and you know, Bo's making a lot of these checks, and Isaac's making a lot of good things happen to get us there. I mean, it's football there, but we're still doing some really good things and executing.
Sammy Siasio, one of his 20 tackles on the day, and you look for Deion Hicks, and I think Bo Cordell likes something. You actually see him look over there at Deion Hicks. He sees something obviously on this play.
Well, he must. I think he just told him what we were going to do and found a way to get him open. And you know, Bo does a good job of waiting around and buying as much time as we can. Deion's got to put the football away here. I was worried about that, but makes a couple of guys miss, and he's a very, very strong football player, and just keeps knocking them away and figuring out a way to get in the end zone. And man, did we need a big play, and he ended up making it for us here.
6 catches, 120 yards on the day. He'll have 3 touchdowns. That's his long of 53. Houston, 161 yards. Wes Powell, 7 catches, 110 yards on the day. And Jonathan Diliberto finished with 3 catches for 92 yards on the day. Bo Cordell throws for 569. He threw for 596, a conference record against Elizabeth City State. And if he had just another possession, he definitely would have done that. Now, defensively, your team comes out. You've given up a 96-yard play. You're down 42-35. Your offense has given you a chance. Josh Davis, Cameron Thomas, Brian Alexander, and Cameron Thomas combined on big plays, but big country. Kashad Lyons with the big play on this drive.
Great job by Kashad right there, putting pressure on him, getting him on the ground. And I don't think they had 100 yards, Brian, after that long touchdown. I think you and I were talking about that earlier, but our defense has decided to play, whatever reason it is, I don't know, but we did, and we started doing some really good things, and here we're flipping it out there to Big West, and he's getting us 10 or 12 and moving the chains.
The Pioneer defense coach talking about gave up 96 yards on the first play of the second half. The next 5 possessions would only allow 60, the next 4 possessions would only allow 68 yards. Bo Cordell takes just a huge hit, tries to go deep to Jonathan Diliberto. It's incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10, and he's looking to go to Deion Hicks, and we'll revisit that route right there. So it's 3rd down and 10, and who do you go to? But Bo has to buy some time. He has to make this play his own, but Justin Houston comes to help him out.
Yeah, Bo does a good job. He's sitting in there waiting, and man, that's one of those throws I was talking about. I mean, I don't know that we got a guy right now that can make that throw and make that decision, and then I don't know if we got anybody on our football team that can make that catch like we did there, but it was just great execution. We needed the drive to stay alive, and we made a big throw, big catch.
Couple of bad things happened for the Pioneers, couple of penalties. There's a false start on the Pioneers. Bo Cordell will run for his life here in just a second, and there will be a holding penalty. So it backs you up, 1st down and 25. But again, Cordell, he just takes what opportunity he has, what the defense gives. But a holding penalty will negate it, and Bo Cordell goes to work and tries to set the screen. I believe we just missed a block here. This could go a long way.
Yeah, we're close. And Justin's really got to keep going inside the way the play's designed, and he got a little excited, but he does a lot of really good things too. Here's just a great throw and a great catch to Big Wesley, and them suckers all go for Wesley's ankles because he's so tall. And but I'm happy he's making some big plays for us. And here Bo just buys some time, and we've almost hit this all day long. We've almost converted. Look at that ball. I mean, that is a perfect ball and a perfect catch and perfect execution. Great job by Deion. Great job by Bo. Great job by our kids up front protecting. Dave Davis and Max Gobert, and there's just so many of those guys up there that continue to do a great job. Billy Munker, and I'm just happy that they keep plugging along. And Jake Bridwell, those guys, and Jeremy Wagner, and Big Patrick Benson, those guys all need to be mentioned because they're playing so well up front.
That touchdown pass, passing Todd Cunningham in conference history for the all-time touchdown lead, 112 touchdown passes for his career. Bo Cordell told me afterwards, Brian, that's the one I'm most proud of.
Yeah, it was a great throw. Here's a great effort again, John Perry. They try to block him coming off the edge and can't, and kept telling Mike to send them. Let's get some pressure on the quarterback, and it's a good job there. And happy for John.
John's second sack of the afternoon for the Pioneers. Again, a lot of pressure, and here's Evan Dansby. He just steps back, comes off his guy, reads the quarterback's eyes, and comes up with the big pick.
I thought he was going to come out of here and score, Brian. He kept squeaking his way, but that's a great play. Great pressure by our kids up front, really, that created a little havoc for the quarterback, and then happy for Evan to be doing what he's supposed to be doing and getting us a big interception.
Well, unable to really convert on that interception, against some penalties on that drive, and so you're forced back. You're still in the third quarter. We're still tied at 42. You have punted it back to the Mars Hill Lions here coming up, as Evan Dansby with that interception for the Pioneers. Again, just the turnaround. Brian Alexander, 10 tackles. Lorante Archie with 8 tackles. John Perry had 8 tackles and 2 sacks on the afternoon. Feluke Gordon-Lamar, I mean, you're not worried about him as much anymore. In the backfield, with them running the football, you basically stopped him for the most part and got guys flying around. Wayne Soliai and Brian Alexander combined on the stop. Miller, again, under pressure by Kashad Lyons.
Great effort here. Get him on the ground, and we're just feeling it a little bit, Brian. I don't know what's happened. I don't know why. We're playing harder than they are. I mean, the game we were down 14. It was really close to being out of our reach, and truthfully, you would think that a team that's only won 3 ball games would let it just slip away, but we found a way to keep playing harder and harder and harder and making plays, and we just got a lot of belief and tenacity, and this is a great throw and great catch. Big Wesley just doing it for us.
All right, so we've moved into the fourth quarter. Neither team really moving it offensively. Maybe the catch of the year.
Phenomenal. Look at that, 1 foot down. Wow, what a catch. Corliss Moose Stone. We're going to look at the kids getting excited for Moose, and great throw by Bo, but even a better catch, man. What a catch, 1 foot down. And all of my family, and Rooster Johnson was down there. Alan Johnson, he was talking about after the game that it was one of the best catches he's so close to and seen. It's a great execution.
So the Pioneers tied at 42. Give it to Isaac Robinson. He'll try up the middle. Justin Houston coming up, and again, a lot of speed here, but shows you Mars Hill speed too. They see this young man coming across there, and they're able to get to him, but he nearly almost scores. And that sets up a first down and goal, a third down and goal, actually. You bring in the big bone package, and Fernando Smith's 9th touchdown of the year.
Chaz Story destroyed that guy coming off the NBA. He's just running in there with a big body. We put those 2 guys in the backfield and let Fernando walk in the end zone, getting excited, puts us ahead, feeling really good about things. We just got to go play defense one more time. Our fans are obviously really getting into it now, and that's a great feeling.
All right, 5 offensive possessions for Mars Hill to this point. After the 96-yard touchdown, they have 68 yards of offense. This is their final drive, their 6th drive of the afternoon. And Trent Miller, who was just named the Freshman Offensive Player of the Year, goes to work, and this was another phenomenal catch. Becton was in good position.
It just makes a good throw, and their player was better than our player on that play. And it's still not over. We still got to make some plays, and we're still playing hard, but they're just making a few plays here and there, and I made a great catch to get down there where we are, and we're getting a little excited.
Kashad Lyons with some good pressure once again on the quarterback. Josh Davis applying some more pressure, looking for Dominique Taylor, who we didn't even have listed in the 4 deep as a wide out for Mars Hill, and he made some huge plays. Mars Hill obviously calling a timeout right now. It's crunch time. You've got 4th down and 5, and they know they have to go. And as a matter of fact, they'll actually get a false start penalty because I think our crowd got a little bit loud.
We were getting loud. We were getting excited, and we as coaches are trying to stay calm down there, but you can feel it on the sidelines. We know it's a big play. We know it's late in the ball game. We know we needed that to come win more than anything, and they overthrow that guy just a little bit, thank goodness, because obviously he was open and found a way for us to get the football back. And Brian, the game's still not over. I mean, there's still time on the clock, and we know we got to do some good things. And thank goodness we got a good offensive line, and thank goodness we got Isaac Robinson carrying the football because he's moving the chains for us here late and running the clock out. Just great execution.
And he's staying in bounds too. Robert Green with one of his 17 tackles. It's almost the passing of the torch drive, which is kind of why I put this in. You've got Cordell handing it off to a guy who could be very bright for our future.
We got great running backs. Those kids are phenomenal, and Isaac's doing it here. He's put two carries. Actually, we knew we had to get a first down. We just didn't know we were going to get it on 2 carries, so we're still having to get first downs and still needing the clock to run a little bit. And we knew they had 2 timeouts, and Mark Kolb does a great job knowing exactly how much time's left and how much seconds we got to burn off the clock to end the ball game. And now we're starting to feel like we got that opportunity, and we just got to keep hanging on the football, doing little things right.
98 yards rushing for Isaac Robinson on the day. Bo Cordell's day rushing was -21. Yeah, he was sacked 3 times, and 2 of them occurred on basically just 1 drive. And so he'll finish his career against Mars Hill -50 yards rushing. But he also finishes with 1,500 yards passing, including 15 touchdowns against 6 interceptions against a very good Mars Hill defense. You know you've got to at least burn 4 seconds.
That's exactly right. That's what we were saying over the headsets, Brian. I said, Mark, we got to burn 4, run him around, and we were talking about that. Mark, he understood that. And then we realized once it got under 40, it was finally over, and we won us a big ball game. And very emotional day for the seniors, very, very, very emotional. Just happy that so many of them get involved and on senior day and get a chance to make some plays, and we get to send them off right with a nice victory.
Bo Cordell established 2 more records Saturday, became Division II's all-time leader in total offensive yards, surpassing that of Jimmy Terwilliger of East Stroudsburg, who went on to win the Harlan Hill in 2006. Now, Terwilliger threw for 148 touchdowns for his career. Bo Cordell, 112. But Terwilliger's old record, 16,064 total offensive yards, rushing and passing combined, not punting. We should put punting in there, it'd be a little bit better. Bo's 16,432. 5 touchdown passes, 112 for his career, breaking the conference record held by former Presbyterian great Todd Cunningham. All told, Bo will have 9 career records in the NCAA, 13 conference records and 19 Tusculum records. His 16,265 passing yards are the most in Division II history, but the 3rd most in all divisions. He wasn't going to chase Case Keenum, 19,000 yards, but he obviously had a pretty decent career for the Pioneers. 1,397 career completions, a Division II best, and 3rd all-time in all NCAA divisions as well. Basically, Bo Cordell in all NCAA divisions, Division I, Division II, Division III, will be in the top 3 of most major categories, behind people like Steve McNair and Case Keenum, who's playing in the NFL, behind some big-name guys.
Well, I mean, Bo deserves that. You know, we talk a lot about it as a football team, that I hope when they see that, they see Tusculum College out there as much as anything. Bo has a lot to do with it. He's a really good football player, and he'll be the first to tell you, a lot of guys had to catch it, a lot of guys had to block, and you know, we had to get the ball back for him. And I'm happy that he goes down in history as one of the best to ever play in Division II. Definitely one of the best to ever play at Tusculum College. And quite frankly, you just made the comments there, he's probably one of the best to ever play college football in the history of college football.
He's a great kid, too, on top of all of that. He was just named the South Atlantic Conference Offensive Player of the Year as well, first-team all-conference quarterback. And not knocking it, I mean, a 4-7 record, and he was noted by his coaches, the other coaches, to be that type of player. I think that just shows you the type of player that he is, with the other coaches respecting that much.
The other head coaches in our league, I mean, yes, he can throw it. Yes, we throw it a bunch. Yes, he's got a lot of numbers. But the other coaches, before we even voted, talked about his toughness, talked about his leadership, talked about his tenacity. That's why he's been so successful. I mean, he didn't have the wins he wanted to have in his career, but he found a way there on Saturday to help get it done. But a lot of people in this league will respect him for years to come, and his name will be in the record books from now on. But I know there's 7 other head coaches in our league that are happy that he's gone.
Hey, there's a lot of guys we're going to talk about still to come in the program. We'll talk about our all-conference performers, our players of the week, and we'll talk about our seniors. But just to put a kibosh on it, the Pioneers knock off Mars Hill by a final score of 49-42. Bo Cordell on the offense orchestrating a final game drive basically to seal the victory as well, behind Isaac Robinson, names like Corliss Stone. Yes, guys that'll be back for the future, which is very bright as well. The win gives Coach DeBusk his 10th win all-time against Mars Hill, ending a 3-game losing skid in the series. Pioneers pick up the 17th win all-time in the series in the 30th meeting between the two schools. Tim Clifton and Frankie DeBusk in this contest were the 2nd and 4th most winningest coaches in South Atlantic Conference history, number 2 belonging to Tim Clifton, as Coach DeBusk picks up career win number 84 in the South Atlantic Conference. When we come back, we'll take a look at our players of the week, our all-conference performers, and our seniors, plus our Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda player spotlight with our player interviews afterwards. Stick around. We got a few guys making some pretty good jokes on this show. That's still to come. It's the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Bojangles.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's Bo time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's Bo time.
Your Greenville Light and Power System, an electrical distributor of TVA, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1945. Your Greenville Light and Power is dedicated to excellence in service and reliability. Visit online at glps.net.
Welcome back into the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Bojangles. The Tusculum Pioneers knocked off the Mars Hill Lions by a final of 49-42 this past Saturday. Now in the game, the Pioneers and the Lions amassed 1,200 yards of total offense. Mars Hill had 545 of that, about 439 through the air. Of course, the 96 yards of that came on the first play from scrimmage in the second half. Meanwhile, the Pioneers, 665 yards of total offense is the third most in school history. Bo Cordell definitely had a banner day, but after the game, we had plenty of guys who belonged and deserved to join our Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda Player Spotlight. After the game, we had a chance to check up with Deion Hicks, Brian Alexander, Bo Cordell, Josh Davis, and John Perry.
Welcome back into the Frankie DeBusk Show. It's time for our Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda Player Spotlight. Plenty of it to talk about today. The Pioneers knock off Mars Hill this past Saturday. We'll start with Deion Hicks. An immediate impact offensively for the Pioneers this season as a wide receiver. And in this football game, 6 catches, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns, linked forever in history with Bo Cordell and the all-time passing yards record and now the all-time South Atlantic Conference touchdown record. Deion, first talk to me about the game. Take me through that one in the corner, the touchdown in that corner. Just talk to me about what Bo Cordell saw and how you two linked up on that play.
Bo, as soon as pre-play, he seen the one-on-one covers out there, and he seen and looked at me and checked to a vertical. So I just set up the corner, and then, he threw it over in the right spot, and it was a perfect ball, and I just got up under it and made sure I caught it. It's a beautiful throw by Bo, though.
Outstanding catch. Second that I think is a defining moment for you, the strength. You have the speed, you have the power, but the strength to get in and the will to get into the end zone. You split 2 defenders, stiff arm another guy to get into the end zone. Take me through that play. Is that the whole design of what you guys saw on that play?
Yeah, and again, like I said, I was running a post, and Bo threw it back shoulder with a perfect throw. He couldn't get no better than that, and I just made a play on it. I tell these guys every day, it's all about making plays, fellas. So, I just got my opportunity, and I made the best of it.
Made a huge impact for this football team, obviously, this year in that wide receiver position. And talk about just the transformation of your game and what you learned here at Tusculum College and how you grew as a football player.
I really matured around these two guys right here. These Bo Cordell and Brian Alexander are real great leaders, and they pushed me to get my mind right and become a better man and also a football player. And it's just being around them guys really helped me mature as a player, and to keep my mind right and up my work ethic, because I came and I was a little sluggish, and they got me working hard. And I said I'm gonna just feed off with these guys and the knowledge they send down to me, and so I'm gonna do good things.
Fiery, compassionate, competitive type player. How have you kind of wore off on some of these other players too that'll be coming up next year as well?
They just see my emotion of the game, and you gotta tell them you gotta love it. You gotta love the game, and you gotta play with fire. You can't play lackadaisical, and they starting to feed off that, I see, and we're gonna be a great team next year coming in.
Deion, thank you. It's been a wonderful pleasure to watch you. We look forward to seeing that next year as well. Thank you. It's Deion Hicks. I'd hug you, but we're on TV. Is that right? This is B.A. This is my boy right here. Brian Alexander, 10 tackles today, the all-time tackle leader in school history. And going into the season, it's something you like to shoot for. You want to see that. You like to see your name right there. There's no question about that. But you wanted wins. Today about this Mars Hill game, 5 consecutive stops for this defense. What turned it around? What was the big key in this second half to turn this game around?
We just rallied together. We knew we needed this win. It was high emotion coming to the game. We played for the seniors. They played for us, and I really appreciate the boys coming out, just giving it everything I got. We laid it all on the line today.
No question. They started out very quick, very emotional for them, too. Dimitri Holmes, the speed of the game, I think, got us just a little bit. What was their keys early in the football game?
They came out fast. They had passion as well. They had a lot of emotion coming up. It was their last game, and their season hasn't gone as well like we wanted our season to go either. But they came out with a lot of fight, a lot of passion, and they gave us everything they got in the first half. You know, we started off slow, but we got it together in the second half.
All right, as the leader on that defense, they blink first. John Perry gets through and then gets a big sack and forces that punt. Did you sense the game would turn right there?
Yes, we came together on the sideline, and we all looked each other in the face, and we said we're going to come together, and we're going to rally, and we're going to win this game.
Not the way you definitely wanted to go out, but how do you define the legacy of Brian Alexander here at Tusculum College?
I loved it. I loved it. Just everything about it was great. You know, we didn't go out with the win and stuff like that, but we did what we could at the time, and I think I had a great career. You know, personally, just God's blessed me a lot.
Hey, you're well loved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brian.
That's Brian Alexander, a great defensive player for this Pioneer team. Bo Cordell, I don't know if you guys have met him. Today, his number's 34, 56, 5 touchdowns, a couple of picks. One of them was a really nice pick, by the way. 569 yards. Second time this year you've gone over 500 yards. Setting a total offensive yard record and setting the South Atlantic Conference all-time touchdown mark. That may be more impressive to you than these other records, right?
You know, I think that means a lot to me. I think it'd look kind of weird if I had all the yards records and didn't have the touchdown record, but it's just a testament to how great our receivers did today. They made it some heck of great catches. Moose made a great catch on the sideline over there. Probably, I think it was the last throw I ever had in college, and I'm going to remember that one forever. Offensive line did a great job, gave me plenty of time, and that's why we ended up getting the win.
Didn't start out in that second quarter. They kind of slowed us down a little bit. They stymied it just somewhat. Was there an adjustment at halftime? Was there anything you guys felt like you had to do differently?
No, we just had to run the offense. The offensive line fixed a couple of the problems that we had, and they did a great job picking up blitz in the second half. I feel like I was relatively untouched, and that's a testament to them. They did a great job. Guys like Billy Munker, David Davis, and all the other offensive linemen, they did a heck of a job, and that's why we won the game.
All right, Troy Harris applied that pressure in the second quarter. He was back there. Now he's the 93rd ranked defensive end in college football. I don't know. That's a pretty big number. Is he worthy of it?
He's a heck of a player. I'll tell you, he looks the part. I think he did a good job. Billy Munker and David Davis did a good job against him today. And like I said, offensive line played great. Receivers made catches. And when we needed to stop, the defense came up big and got the stop, and that's why we won.
All right, guys that bailed you out some today, you did a good job with that. Justin Houston, 11 catches, 161 yards. His touchdown was on fourth down. You're scrambling around a little bit. When did you realize he was going to break free? What type of eye contact did you have there?
Well, I have a lot of trust in Justin Houston. He's one heck of a receiver. Might end up being the best receiver ever to play here. I feel fortunate to be able to play with guys like him and Deontay and Ryan Talent, inside receivers like that. But he got caught up on the inside guy, and I just had faith in him that he was going to be able to make a catch. Just threw it out there, and he made one heck of a catch.
I asked BA this just seconds ago. Your legacy, how do you define your career here at Tusculum?
That's a good question. I really haven't. People are probably going to remember me for all the yards, but what I really want to be remembered for is a competitor. I hope they say that I never gave up, no matter what the situation, no matter how many wins, no matter how many losses, no matter how much we were down by. I want them to say that I was a competitor and that I was a good leader.
By the time you wear the orange and black, has it hit you yet?
It did after the game when I gave Coach Kolb a hug, because that man means a lot to me. He was the reason I came here, and hopefully I get to coach with him one day. You never know, but he's a great man, and I'm gonna miss the heck out of these guys. Guys like BA and JP over here, they're heck of players and great people.
Hey, it's been a wonderful time with you. It's been too short.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I feel like I've been here forever, though.
You have, but don't go home. Thanks, Bo. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Bo Cordell. John Perry is the guy who also comes here at Tusculum College, a wonderful career. John, basically a couple of great plays here in this game, and you're capable of this. We knew that about you, John. Out down there in Florida, you come up here to Tusculum. What was it like when you first stepped foot here at Tusculum College? Did you feel as if you get acclimated to college football?
No, I wanted to go home, really. It was a little different. Not a little different, a lot different, but I got acclimated to it. I called my mama all the time, my sister, but after that, stayed on the phone and told me to stick it out, stay here, and I just fell in love with it. Met some good friends, so it's been good for me.
Hey, it's been good for us. That's no question about it. Let's talk about the game a little bit, because they're running downhill on us. It's just like a hot knife through butter, and then all of a sudden we need to play. They blinked first, a little play action fake, and you didn't bite. Take me through the play for the sack.
I seen it. My coach told me they was going to run the waggle, run the boot. So he sent me on the blitz to drive. When he sent me, I blitzed down on the gap, and I seen the quarterback pull the ball. Someone told me to climb. When I climbed, he just kept the ball, and I hit him.
Seems as if the intensity picked up a little bit in that second half. You guys fell behind. What was the big turning point for your defense? When did you feel that you guys had turned the corner? Because, look, they just burned us on a 96-yard touchdown pass. So when did you feel as if you guys might have seized some control in the second half?
I'd probably say that play, but after that, I mean, like I said, we settled down. When we settled down, we just got it together and started playing Tusculum football. When we play Tusculum football, we can't be stopped.
It was hat on hat there for a long time, and toe to toe. You shut down Dimitri Holmes in that second half, number 7. He had that one big play, then we didn't hear from him for a long time. The emotion, is that what we sense when a defense says, when the emotion's going downhill, we can't be stopped? How did that feel as a player sitting over there knowing that anything they tried, they weren't going to be successful with?
For us, it felt great. I mean, we know when we go out, they won't go do number punt the ball. That's always great for a defense. So we know we can keep them from scoring or keep them to 3. We're going to win the game. That's what we had to do, put the ball back in both hands. And we did it, and he won the game for us.
Took a while to get you on the field this year. So how does it feel to finally end real healthy and with a big smile on your face?
Great. I feel great. It's been a long year. Like nagging injuries back and forth, but I mean, I won't trade it for nothing. It's been a great year.
Hey, thank you for your time being here, and thanks for right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
John Perry, also affectionately known as JP. Josh Davis came in. He was a kid out of Knoxville, and he comes in here and he's like, you know what? I'm going to play linebacker. I'm going to be awesome. Josh, they moved you to defensive line this year. Tell me about the adjustment and the change there for you.
It really wasn't a change because I wanted to play defensive end before, and that's what I played in high school. Before I came up here, I never played linebacker. And when I got the chance to play defensive end, I just took total control of it.
Let's talk about this game a little bit. Just talk with JP about it somewhat, about how, they did about what they wanted to do on us early. And it seems as if that John Perry sack kind of changed our whole emotion. Did you sense the game change right there?
It did. And, we preached all week, have fun, have fun. JP was out there having fun. He made that play. We all turned up, and that's what happened.
Second half, you were prominent in the backfield, putting a lot of pressure on Trent Miller. Did a game get it? Now, I was worried about the offensive line. I thought that's a big offensive line. They're veteran. How good were they, and how difficult was it to finally beat them down late?
They, to say they were good, I wouldn't say they were good. They was okay. They was average. I mean, and we just had to put pressure on them and play our keys. Our coach preached to us all week. Play your keys, play your technique, and that's what we did.
Second half changes. You're riding high with a lot of emotion. You have Bo Cordell with the ball and 4:50 to play in the football game. What do you guys feel? Do you feel as if he's going to be able to drive you down?
Yes, I have full confidence in him. Like, when we was on the sideline, that's the only thing you heard. Us chanting offense, let's go. That's it.
Final time you wear this orange and black. How emotional was it for you? How emotional is it right here at the end of the game?
It's really surreal right now. Like, I try to leave it all out on the field, and it's crazy because I look at the scoreboard. It's 0-0, and that's it. No more Tusculum football. No more off-season workout. 6 a.m. is over with. So I just tried to leave it all on the field, and I think that's what I did.
Hey, we're better for knowing you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That's Josh Davis, and that's our Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda Player Spotlight. Our Gateway Ford at Lincoln Mazda Player Spotlight. Of course, it would help if I knew where everybody was from. I do know that Josh Davis is not from Knoxville and that he is from Atlanta. My apologies to the Davis family. Of course, he could have hit me while we were sitting there doing that interview, which he refused to do. Shows you the character of a lot of these kids. Or not. Anyway, we move on. There was some great hardware that was handed out at the end of the year as well, and it's time to take a look at those guys who performed above and beyond and earned all conference. It's time for our Sodexo, not only Offensive Player of the Week, but our Sodexo Player of the Year. That's Bo Cordell, none other. That's right, he was voted the South Atlantic Conference Player of the Year. He's earned it multiple times in his career now. He also earned it in 2010. He's one of only 4 players in league history to earn Offensive Player of the Year distinction on more than one occasion. The last being the great Todd Cunningham, Tommy Laurendine, 88 and 99, Jonas Randolph of Mars Hill, 09 and 11. It marks the 4th time a Pioneer has earned Conference Football Player of the Year. All-American defensive back and return specialist Ricardo Coakley did it in 03. All-American quarterback Corey Russell did it in 08. Cordell wraps up one of the most prolific careers by a collegiate quarterback. The Cincinnati, Ohio native owns 15 NCAA Division II records, including career passing, career completions, career pass attempts, career total offensive yards, and total offensive plays.
Cordell currently leads the conference in 6 statistical categories: passing yards a game, points responsible for per game, and total offense. His 3,920 passing yards are the 3rd most in school history and 5th best in conference history, while his 4,020 total offensive yards are the 3rd most in both school and conference record books. Cordell completed 25 touchdowns this year, which is 3rd most by a Tusculum player, 8th most by a conference quarterback. He owns 13 conference football records he established during his collegiate finale on Saturday of touchdown passes for a career and touchdowns responsible for. Cordell becomes only the 5th Tusculum student athlete to be named multiple SAC Player of the Year, joining Leslie Murray, Jasmine Gunn, and Kyle Moore, plus Simon Holzoffel. Our Sodexo, definitely he earned it, Player of the Year. It's time now to take a look at our Greenville Light and Power first team offense and first team all conference for the Pioneers. And both of them do come from offense. Justin Houston, the junior from Cleveland, led the conference in receptions a game, averaging 11 catches per contest, presently the 2nd highest average in the nation. Houston also leads the conference in all-purpose yards per game and is 2nd in the conference in receiving yards a game, 8th in total receiving yards. Houston's season totals in receptions, receiving yards, and all-purpose yardage are the single-season records at Tusculum. He's also tallied 7 touchdown catches and a kickoff return for a program-best 99-yard return to earn him South Atlantic Conference Special Teams Player of the Week honors. Earlier this year, he established a single-game record with 317 all-purpose yards at Brevard. For his career, 150 receptions, 6th in school history, 1,740 yards, 8th in school history, and 11 touchdowns for the Bradley Central High School graduate. Also, first team all-conference, Wesley Powell, the junior from Titus, Alabama, finished 3rd on the team with 38 catches for 520 yards, 8th in the league, and 4 touchdowns. He averaged 47 receiving yards per game, 9th in the league, including a career-best 110 yards and 7 grabs against Mars Hill. Powell becomes only the 2nd tight end to earn all-conference first-team honors, joining 2-time first-teamer Jarrell Neesmith. In his 31 games now, he's made 81 receptions for 853 yards and 7 touchdowns. It's time now to take a look at our Green Coach Tours second team all-conference. And it starts with an All-American in my mind. That's Brian Alexander. He returns to the all-conference second team as he finished 2nd in the conference with 126 tackles, the 2nd most in school history. The Union Point, Georgia native averaged 11.5 tackles a game, which is the 2nd best average in the league and 11th in the country. He recorded 10 or more tackles on 7 occasions this year, including a career-high 20 versus Carson Newman. He also had 18 tackles, including 2 behind the line against Catawba. The Greene County, Georgia high school product finished the season with 6 tackles for loss and 3 sacks while forcing a fumble and blocking a kick. Alexander will leave Tusculum as the program's all-time leader in tackles with 366 stops to his credit. He's also 7th in career tackles for loss and sacks and posted double-digit tackles on 15 occasions. Senior defensive lineman Josh Davis was a second-team all-conference. He finished 5th on the team with 57 tackles. Yes, he's from Atlanta. That included 27 solo hits this year. He led the squad in tackles for loss and sacks and quarterback hurries, while also breaking up 4 passes. Out of Atlanta, the product recorded a tackle behind the line of scrimmage in 7 of his 11 contests this year, including a season-high 2 against LR. The South Atlanta High School graduate wraps up his collegiate career with 103 tackles, including 10 for loss, 5 sacks and interceptions, 6 passes defended, forced a fumble, recovered 3, and also sold popcorn at halftime of 1 game. Junior receiver Dion Hicks posted a solid 2013 campaign, good enough to earn him a second-team all-conference nod. The 6'2", 210-pound native of Fresno, California, recorded 784 receiving yards on 43 catches, including 7 touchdown catches. The Fresno City College transfer averaged 87 receiving yards per game, 3rd in the conference and 37th in the nation. His receiving yardage total was 3rd best in the conference, while his 4.8 receptions per game average is 4th. Hicks accounted for 6 games with 100 receiving yards, including the season finale with Mars Hill, where he made 6 catches for 120 yards and 3 touchdowns, including 2 in the 3rd quarter. And rounding out our Green Coach Tours second-team all-conference is senior offensive lineman David Davis. Returning to school for his 5th year, he earns all-conference team for the Pioneers. The 6'4", 300-pound native from McEwen, Tennessee, started in all 11 games this season. In his 37 career games, he made 27 starts, including 23 in a row on the offensive trenches, and a big reason why Bo Cordell was able to stand in the pocket and complete as many passes and have as many yards as he had. Whew. Let's take a look now at the game once again itself. Tusculum versus Mars Hill with our Andrew Johnson Bank calls of the game. There were so many in this contest that we had to narrow it down the best we could. So we decided to go with some of the momentum shifters in the contest. It began in the first quarter with John Perry. We moved to the third quarter with Deion Hicks. And finally, the final drive that Bo Cordell will definitely remember in his career, hooking up with the guy they call Moose, Corliss Stone.
Hughes will go in motion out of the timeouts. Play action, no. John Perry, sack! All the way back to the 10, maybe the 20-yard line, inside the 20 at the 19 for a loss of about 10 yards on the play. Number 10, John Perry in his final game with the sack on Trent Cordell. Pressure from behind. They're going to Deion Hicks into the end zone. Over the shoulder grab. He holds it. He controls it. He was in bounds. Touchdown Pioneers! Touchdown Deion Hicks! First and 10 at the 42. Looking to go deep to Corliss Stone. Caught it. Did he get a foot down? He did. Down at the 4-yard line. First and goal, Pioneers.
It's time now for our Creekside Market post-game wrap-up. For the Pioneers, they win. Let's look at the scoreboard. They win at 49-42. And now for the first time in a while, a lot of these offensive numbers mean something too. Mars Hill ran for 106 yards on the day. Tusculum ran for 96. Passing, Mars Hill 439, Tusculum 569. For Bo Cordell, 569. Now 6 times in his career he's thrown for over 500 yards. Total offense, ridiculous. Mars Hill 74 plays, 545 yards. Tusculum ran 90 plays for 665 yards in the contest. Punt average, Mars Hill punted 8 times for a 43.8-yard average. Tusculum punted 7 times, and Bo Cordell had 2 of those for a 40.1-yard average on the afternoon. Time of possession, Mars Hill 30 minutes, 11 seconds, Tusculum 29 minutes and 49 seconds. And Mars Hill was just 2 for 13 on third downs, while Tusculum was 9 of 18 on the afternoon. Mars Hill 2 of 3 on fourth down with the touchdown. Tusculum's 1 attempt on fourth down went to Justin Houston for a touchdown. Mars Hill 3 for 3 in the red zone, Tusculum 3 for 3 in the red zone. Mars Hill had 3 sacks, Tusculum ended up with 4 sacks on the day. A lot of numbers, a lot of talking, a lot of great accolades for a lot of great players. Unfortunately, we're talking about the end of the year. And when head coach Frankie DeBusk comes back to join us, we'll talk about this season and look ahead a bit in the future for Tusculum 2014. That's when the Frankie DeBusk Show continues right after this, presented by Bojangles.
Creekside Market has 3 locations in southern Greene County to serve. So while you're traveling to or from any game, stop by and pick up a Hunt Brothers Pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. Creekside Market just off the 107. Locations on the Asheville Highway, Camp Creek, and the Irwin Highway. Creekside Markets in Greene County. Anything you'll ever need to rent or buy is at Grand Rental Station. Business, commercial, or residential, from forklifts to backhoes to tents, party goods, wedding supplies, and much more. On the Andrew Johnson Highway in Greenville. Grand Rental Station, 639-6160. Greene Coach Charters and Tours has been proudly serving the traveling public for over 65 years and is the official carrier of Tusculum College Athletics. If you have never traveled by Greene Coach, may we invite you to join them for an exciting travel adventure. Visit online at greencoach.com.
Whenever there's a project to make our community a better place to live, you'll always find our local merchants right there doing all they can to help. From sponsoring the kids' ball teams to serving barbecue at a community picnic, they're always there. Be community-minded. Shop and invest locally. Greenville Federal Bank, member FDIC. Banking made easy.
Community-minded, just like you.
Welcome back into the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Bojangles for the final time here in 2013. The Pioneers football season is over, and unfortunately it doesn't end the way they had the expectations to begin the season. Future is bright, but let's talk about the guys who've laid some of that foundation down. Rejoined by Pioneer coach Frankie DeBusk. Bo Cordell, Brian Alexander, he'll finish 10 tackles on the day, and for his career, 366 tackles, 126 just this year. That was 6 shy of a school record. He makes a lot of tackles, but you moved him this year to kind of be in a position to make some plays.
Another fantastic young man, and he will go down in the record books from the South Atlantic Conference standpoint and the Tusculum College football standpoint. And his name will be mentioned around here for many, many years to come about Brian coming in here at 185, 190 pounds, still wet behind the ears, and 5 years later he walks across the stage at 250, 260, just now as a grown man, and has made a lot of, not only good plays here at Tusculum, but done a lot in our locker room and done a lot as a leader off the field, and just, I'm happy that he's getting in his career with a win and had a very successful career at Tusculum.
All right, we know Bo Cordell and Brian Alexander. Maybe some guys that you just don't think of. David Davis comes back, earns all conference. He wasn't coming back, and he basically played all year, somewhat injured.
Yeah, just with one arm, and I talked to his dad before the game there and asked him what he was going to do on Saturdays because his dad continues to follow David, and he's got another brother that he goes and runs around with too. But David's just a great young man, a great ambassador for our program, and he was thinking about not returning, and then fortunately ends up making all conference. And I think now he'd probably just so happy that he made that decision and that choice, and he will move on with his life, and he's got a wonderful girlfriend, and I think they're going to end up getting married one day, and he just has a bright future and is a phenomenal person.
For the Pioneers defensively, Jelly Beckton was one of those guys. He was preseason all-conference. He didn't have the type of season that he would have liked to have had, but I really think that he showed some great maturity this year late in that season as he stepped up, made some plays when they needed to be made.
We talked about Jelly in the staff meeting last week about when Jelly first came in here and his immaturity, how really he's grown up so much. Mm-hmm. He did not have the season he wanted to have for various reasons, and there's some issues here and there, but he's going to leave here. Hopefully he had a great time. He was very emotional before and after the game with his mother being here for senior day, and he's also got a wonderful girlfriend that was there out representing on senior day as well.
All right, Jordan Reinhardt, Lee Kaiser, Dustin Lane, another guy who will have 150 tackles for his Pioneer football career. Logan Haynes comes 1 year, plays his final game on Saturday as well for the Pioneers. We talked about so many solid players. There's your foundation guys right there that provide each and every week.
Well, I hope these seniors have really done that. And, we had a team meeting on Sunday night right here in the locker room, and I don't know why we've done it this way we have, but we cover some things we need to cover. We talk to the football team as a whole with the seniors present, and then we dismiss them. And our kids give them a round of applause, and, and they walk out the door. And I told our team after that, that group that just left has set a foundation. They've started a legacy. There's, a lot of those guys came in here, didn't know how good they were going to be, didn't know if they were going to get to play, didn't know if they were going to graduate. Now they're all going to get to do those things, and hopefully they're all going to become good fathers and good husbands. And now the tide turns. I told the guys sitting in here, all of a sudden, when they walked out that door on Sunday night, the group that's still in here, you're our seniors. Mm-hmm. You're our leaders. We got to take it and run with it. We got to be better than we've been. It's unacceptable for Tusculum College football not to win more games than we've won the last few years. We got guys in our locker room and guys on our football team that can take us to the next level. And thanks to those seniors for getting it going and getting it started. Now they've passed the torch, and we got to move on.
Do you have to move on? We have to move on, unfortunately, too. It's hard to believe that the football season is over with. As far as playing games, your season really starts to ramp up right now a little bit, going out and finding young and really excited new Pioneers to come into this program. A season that had plenty of ups and downs. Yeah, a season that had plenty of expectation, but a season that you knew every single week going in that you had a chance to win because of the veterans that were on this football team. Nope, didn't always come up that way, but the Pioneers ended it up the right way, going out the right way. Coach, I know it's been a trying season, but thank you for your time all season long.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate all you guys do for us.
Pioneer coach Frankie DeBusk. Many thanks to Bojangles this year for stepping up, because Greenville is a bow town, and you can go and enjoy some wonderful chicken and incredible biscuits and the great sweet tea. It's all at Bojangles right here just off the bypass in Greenville. Make sure you stop by and visit and say, hey, I saw those two knuckleheads on the Frankie DeBusk show telling me about your great biscuits. They'll enjoy that. Seriously, the knucklehead part, because we've already established all of that. Many thanks to Perry Morgan. His first year this year as a videographer, did a wonderful job in shooting a lot of the great shots that we had a chance to see and show you that can't make it to the games or can't check that online. But appreciate Perry's efforts and the job that he did this year. And of course, always behind the scenes, Mr. Nathan Humbert, for everything that he does to put the show together for us. For all of our sponsors, for Coach DeBusk, we hope that you will eagerly anticipate the start of the 2014 season as well, as much as we'll enjoy bringing it to you. Until then, Brian Stayton, go Pioneers.
This has been the Frankie DeBusk Show with head coach Frankie DeBusk, featuring coaches' interviews, player spotlights, highlights, and statistical breakdowns.
Presented by, you're in a Bojangles town, Greenville, home of the Bojangles famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. Bojangles, title sponsor for the Frankie DeBusk Show. Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda, home of the big deal, located on the 11E bypass in Greenville. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Your Greenville Light and Power System, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1945. Greenville Federal Bank, celebrating over 50 years of service in Greenville and Greene County. Green Coach Tours, proudly serving the traveling public since 1945. Grand Rental Station, anything you'll ever need to rent or buy. Andrew Johnson Bank, a strong heritage, a stronger future. Home owned and operated with locations in Johnson City, Jonesboro, Morristown, Cleveland, and Greenville. Creekside Markets, don't pass by, stop by, with 3 locations in Greene County. Special consideration from Comcast Cable through Xfinity.
The Frankie DeBusk Show is a special presentation of the Pioneer Sports Network.